10 Stoic principles that will destroy your old self and rebuild your life. Stoic philosophy. Introduction. What if the life you want is waiting on the other side of the person you keep refusing to let go of? The old version of you may be comfortable. It may know how to survive. It may know how to make excuses, seek approval, avoid discomfort, react emotionally, and blame circumstances. But comfort can become a prison. There comes a moment when you have to look at yourself honestly and say, "The person I have been is no longer the person I need to become." Welcome back to the channel. If you are serious about transforming your mindset, becoming emotionally stronger, and taking control of your life, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because here we explore Stoic wisdom that can help you become calmer, stronger, and more disciplined. Today, we're going to explore 10 Stoic principles that can destroy your old patterns and rebuild your life from the inside out. And understand something from the beginning. Destroying your old self does not mean destroying who you are. It means destroying the habits, fears, excuses, attachments, and weaknesses that have been controlling you. The Stoics understood something powerful. You cannot build a new life with the same mind that created your old one. So let's begin. Principle 1. Accept what you cannot control. One of the most powerful Stoic principles is also one of the simplest. Control what you can. Accept what you cannot. Think about how much energy people waste trying to control things that were never theirs to control. They try to control what others think about them. They try to control whether someone loves them. They try to control the past. They try to control other people's behavior. They try to control circumstances. And when reality refuses to cooperate, they become frustrated, anxious, and angry. The Stoics would tell you to stop fighting battles you cannot win. You cannot control another person's opinion of you. But you can control your character. You cannot control whether someone respects you. But you can control whether you respect yourself. You cannot control what happened yesterday. But you can control what you do today. This distinction can change your entire life. Every time something goes wrong, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take responsibility. If the answer is no, release it. That doesn't mean becoming passive. It means becoming intelligent about where you invest your energy. Your attention is one of your greatest resources. Stop giving it to things you cannot change. The old version of you reacts to everything. The new version chooses what deserves a reaction. Principle 2. Stop seeking approval. Your old self may have been addicted to approval. You wanted people to like you. You wanted people to understand you. You wanted people to praise you. You wanted everyone to recognize your efforts. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your happiness depends on other people's approval, you are giving them control over your mind. The Stoics believe that true freedom comes from living according to virtue rather than public opinion. Imagine someone criticizes you. Your old self immediately wants to defend itself. You explain. You argue. You try to prove them wrong. You spend hours thinking about what they said. But a disciplined person asks, is there truth in this criticism? If there is, learn from it. If there isn't, release it. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to explain every decision. You don't need everyone to understand your journey. Sometimes the strongest response is simply to continue living according to your principles. Build a life you respect even when nobody is watching. Because when you stop chasing approval, something remarkable happens. You become free. Principle 3. Use discomfort as training. Your old self wants comfort. Your new self needs growth. The Stoics understood that hardship can be used as training. Every difficult experience can become an opportunity to strengthen yourself. Think about exercise. Your muscles become stronger because they are challenged. The same principle applies to character. Discipline grows when you do what you don't feel like doing. Courage grows when you face what scares you. Patience grows when you are forced to wait. Resilience grows when life becomes difficult. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" If life gives you rejection, learn resilience. If life gives you failure, learn humility. If life gives you uncertainty, learn patience. If life gives you responsibility, learn discipline. Don't waste your pain. Use it. The goal isn't to create a life where nothing difficult happens. The goal is to become the kind of person who can handle difficulty without losing himself. Principle 4. Master your emotional reactions. You cannot always control what happens, but you can train yourself not to become a prisoner of your first reaction. Someone insults you. Your anger rises. Someone ignores you. Your insecurity appears. Someone disappoints you. Your frustration takes over. The old self reacts immediately. The Stoic pauses. That pause is power. Before responding, take a breath. Ask, what response would make me proud tomorrow? Not, what do I feel like doing right now? Your emotions are real, but they do not always tell you what to do. Anger can tell you that something matters. Fear can tell you that something feels dangerous. Sadness can tell you that you've lost something valuable. But emotions should provide information, not automatically control your behavior. You don't become emotionally strong by never feeling anything. You become emotionally strong by feeling deeply without becoming controlled by those feelings. Master the pause. That small space between what happens and how you respond can completely transform your life. Principle 5. Remember that life is short. The Stoics often reflected on mortality. Not because they were obsessed with death, but because remembering that life is temporary helps you understand what actually matters. You don't have unlimited time. The conversation you've been postponing. The dream you've been delaying. The apology you've been refusing to give. The habit you've been promising to change. The life you've been waiting to start. There is no guarantee that, someday, will come. This isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to wake you up. Ask yourself, if I knew I had only a few years left, what would I stop wasting my time on? Would you still spend hours arguing with strangers online? Would you still obsess over people who don't value you? Would you still compare your life to everyone else's? Would you still postpone becoming the person you know you can become? Probably not. Remembering that life is temporary makes ordinary moments valuable. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start living deliberately now. Principle 6. Stop complaining and start acting. Complaining can become a habit. Something goes wrong. You complain. Someone disappoints you. You complain. Life becomes difficult. You complain. But complaining without action changes nothing. The Stoic question is, what can I do about it? If you don't like your financial situation, develop your skills. If you don't like your health, improve your habits. If you don't like your environment, change what you can. If you made a mistake, learn from it. If something cannot be changed, accept it. Complaining gives you the illusion that you're doing something while keeping you exactly where you are. Action creates movement. You don't need to solve your entire life today. You only need to identify the next right action. One phone call. One workout. One page. 1 hour of focused work. One difficult conversation. One better decision. Small actions repeated consistently can completely rebuild a life. Principle 7. Build discipline before motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you feel inspired. Other mornings you don't want to get out of bed. If your life depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. The Stoics emphasize discipline and duty. You do what needs to be done because it needs to be done, not because you feel excited about it. Imagine waking up and telling yourself, I don't need to feel motivated. I simply need to begin. That's discipline. You don't need to feel like exercising. Start anyway. You don't need to feel like studying. Open the book. You don't need to feel inspired to work. Begin the work. Action often creates motivation rather than the other way around. The old self asks, do I feel like doing this? The new self asks, does this need to be done? That single question can change everything. Principle 8. Detach from outcomes. This principle is incredibly powerful. Give your best effort. But don't make your peace dependent on the outcome. You can prepare for an interview, but you cannot guarantee that you'll get the job. You can treat someone well, but you cannot force them to love you. You can work hard, but you cannot control every result. Your responsibility is the effort. The outcome belongs partly to circumstances beyond your control. This doesn't mean you stop having goals. It means you stop allowing outcomes to determine your worth. Do the work. Prepare. Show up. Give your best. Then accept reality. When you detach from the outcome, you become more focused. You stop desperately chasing. You stop making fear-based decisions. You stop treating every setback like a personal disaster. You learn to say, I did what was within my power. Now I accept what follows. That is emotional freedom. Principle 9. Choose your circle carefully. Your environment influences your character. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain, and complaining can become normal. Spend enough time around people who are disciplined, and discipline becomes easier to admire. Spend time around people who chase drama, and drama becomes entertainment. Spend time around people who value growth, and growth becomes normal. This doesn't mean judging everyone. It means being intentional about who receives access to your mind. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to you. You can care about people without allowing their behavior to destroy your peace. You can forgive someone without trusting them again. You can love someone while maintaining boundaries. And you can walk away from relationships that repeatedly pull you away from the person you're trying to become. Your future deserves protection. Choose your environment wisely. Principle 10. Become responsible for your life. This may be the most important principle of all. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Stop waiting for everyone to understand. Stop waiting for permission. Your life is your responsibility. That doesn't mean everything that happens to you is your fault. It means that your response is your responsibility. Maybe someone hurt you. You didn't choose that. But healing is your responsibility. Maybe you experienced failure. You didn't necessarily choose the failure. But learning from it is your responsibility. Maybe life gave you an unfair beginning. You may not control where you started. But you can still influence where you go from here. Responsibility gives you power. Victimhood takes it away. The moment you say, my life is my responsibility, you stop waiting for the world to change before you begin changing yourself. And that's where transformation starts. Destroying the old self. Now let's bring these 10 principles together. The old self says, I need everyone to approve of me. The new self says, I know what I stand for. The old self says, why is this happening to me? The new self says, what can I learn from this? The old self says, I don't feel motivated. The new self says, do it anyway. The old self says, I need to control everything. The new self says, I control my actions, my choices, and my response. The old self says, I need this outcome to be happy. The new self says, I will give my best and accept reality. The old self runs from discomfort. The new self uses discomfort as training. The old self blames. The new self takes responsibility. The old self reacts. The new self pauses. The old self waits for life to change. The new self changes himself. That is the transformation. Final message. Your old self doesn't have to disappear overnight. Transformation happens through thousands of small decisions. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're rebuilding yourself. Every time you choose silence instead of an unnecessary argument, you're rebuilding yourself. Every time you choose courage instead of fear, you're rebuilding yourself. Every time you accept what you cannot control, you're rebuilding yourself. Every time you keep going after failure, you're rebuilding yourself. You don't become stronger by wishing for an easier life. You become stronger by developing the character required to handle the life you have. So starting today, stop asking, how can I make life easier? Start asking, how can I become stronger? Because when you become stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, circumstances lose some of their power over you. People may disappoint you. Plans may fail. Opportunities may disappear. Life may surprise you. But you don't have to collapse every time reality doesn't match your expectations. You can stand. You can adapt. You can learn. You can continue. That is Stoic strength. And remember, you are not required to remain the person you were yesterday. Your past may explain you. It does not have to define you. Your mistakes may have shaped you. They don't have to imprison you. Your circumstances may have limited you. They don't have to determine your future. Every morning gives you another opportunity to practice becoming someone stronger. So destroy the excuses. Destroy the need for approval. Destroy the addiction to comfort. Destroy the habit of reacting. Destroy the fear of failure. Destroy the belief that you are powerless. And rebuild yourself with discipline, courage, wisdom, patience, and purpose. Become someone who doesn't need life to be easy in order to remain at peace. Become someone who can face uncertainty without losing direction. Become someone who can experience rejection without losing self-respect. Become someone who can experience failure without losing hope. Become someone who can stand alone without feeling incomplete. Become difficult to break. Because the ultimate goal of Stoicism isn't to create a perfect life. It's to create a stronger person capable of living imperfectly without losing his inner peace. If this message spoke to you, don't just listen to it. Practice it. Choose one principle today. Apply it. Then tomorrow, choose another. And slowly, day by day, decision by decision, you will begin to realize something. The life you were waiting for wasn't created by luck. It was created by the person you decided to become. If you found value in this video, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, master yourself, and the world becomes much harder to shake you. Stay disciplined. Stay calm. Stay strong. And keep building the person you were meant to become.